was the worst season. It was pretty boring, and it took me a while to finish it. But it wasn't necessarily bad. It just wasn't very entertaining. Because the whole thing is just an alien living in a house, and people not, allowed to see him besides a few. Like, Kate's mom, Willie's brother, and that one therapist that shows up every now and then when the plot is relevant. But I think that's oh yeah, and the blind lady that showed up for 2 episodes. Once in season 1. I think the other time was in season 2. When they had like this big party. No, 3 episodes actually, because there was one with therapy where they had a big party with the mom and everybody that knew Alf besides Neil, since Neil didn't show up till season 4. Because it wasn't season 4, so it's at least season 3 or season 2. I know it's not 1. But the blind lady showed up for 3 episodes. One where she sort of dealt with Alf for like 20 minutes, and then Lynn had to pick him up. The other one where she had to live with him, and she realized how annoying Alf was. And then there was the therapy one where they had the whole party. Anyways, season 4 just wasn't that good. The cliffhanger, I didn't really like the cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger and I didn't like it. I love cliffhangers. As long as I get to finish it next season, unlike a lot of shows. But I just really wasn't into this season. But I did some research on why it was canceled, since it ended on a cliffhanger in this little last season. And it was probably because of how bad this season was. But, while I was looking up why it was canceled, I talked about how they made a movie 6 years later. And it was called Project Alf. And it actually went off the cliffhanger on the end of season 4. So unlike most shows, it didn't just say, cliffhanger, fuck you, you'll never know anything. You'll never get to figure out what happens. It came back a few years later, just to satisfy their audience. So I loved that. Young Justice, I don't remember if it ended on a cliffhanger, but it came back. Let's see. Yeah, the 57% from the tomato meter, the audience gave the movie a 57%. So I hope to watch it soon. Yeah, so season 1 has a 57. This was personally my favorite season. Let's see how it got 90. Season 3 was pretty decent, and I finished it in a pretty decent amount of time. What's it got? Load 92. There's a 90 just like season 2. $80. I had a feeling I wasn't the only one who wasn't a huge fan of it. But yeah, really wasn't a fan of season 4. The best part was the whole baby thing. Oh wait, that was from season 3, because I remember talking about that. Yeah. That was season 3. Jesus, oh. Well, the baby thing was cool, though. For like a few episodes. They didn't really do much with it, besides, oh, there's a baby. It's related to the Tanners. Which, I don't expect much since it's a baby. But Brian was a young kid, and they used to do a bunch of stuff with him back in 1 and 2. Then after that, he just didn't even really talk with Alf anymore. So in season 4, when he was sad that Alf was getting captured and going away forever, it didn't really hit as much, because season 1 and season 2 is when they hung out all the time. They just didn't really hang out as much anymore. They would play games and stuff. Alf would talk to him about games he played on his planet. And it didn't even really feel like the same show anymore after season 2. Season 3 had its moments, and season 4 had its moments. They both still had funny jokes. But the show didn't feel the same anymore. And it just wasn't that funny. More and more episodes were just Elf imagining things, and the whole episode being like, oh, what if this happened? And that is just the whole plot. Yeah, it just wasn't the same after 2. They just completely changed the show and didn't do what worked. Season 3 was still pretty good, but after that, no. I just really wasn't into 4.